Be sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. All right, we're gonna run some clips in there. Some that Dave, some that already have the behavior. We're gonna get in there, and we're gonna see. All right, that's good.
You fuck with my familia, eh? You gotta answer to me here and now. Come on, toe to toe. Let's go, motherfucker! Let's see what kind of man you are in daylight. What's the matter, Spider? You were scared of me? I'm gonna catch you on the fucking rebound, punk! I'm gonna squash you like the PJ bug you are. Come on, motherfucker! Get up, Chucky! Caiga, puto! Don't back. We all do. That's who we are. Three vatos locos, full of carnalismo, trying to survive in a fucking war zone. But what I know now, bro, is that I need my familia to do it. We all do. Even you. Don't back away, vato. Life's a risk, carnal. Remember, you said it yourself. Pues órale, step into the ring and throw down, ese. You a badass? Take care of business, Holmes. Caiga, puto.
What's up? Do what the fuck you about to do. You think I'm fucking afraid of you, dude? What's up? I'm fucking soccer, gun. Oh, shit. I'm scared. I'm scared. I got this guy coming at me. I'm gonna get your leg, okay? We'll twist it on that. We'll get your leg, all right? Hey, do what the fuck you gotta do. What's up? Do what the fuck you gotta do. You think
I know a goddamn mutant when I see one. Because how the fuck you get hit with the whole car through the wall at that? And then you just getting up running around like ain't shit happened. Who the fuck is your daddy? The Juggernaut? I know a goddamn mutant when I see one. Because how the fuck you get hit with the whole car through the wall at that? And then you just getting up running around like ain't shit happened.
Does the fresh meat have any questions?
Yeah. How big are those titties?
I'm a G.
Whoa.
Does the fresh meat have any questions?
Yeah. How big are those titties?
I'm a G.
What is this music you're always listening to? Come on, let us in.
Yeah. Okay, I like this.
Okay. Put it on, huh?
Here we go.
I like to butt fuck fine ladies. Will I choke hold a bitch? Well, maybe. I like to butt fuck fine ladies. Will I choke hold a bitch? Well, maybe. I like to butt fuck fine ladies. Will I choke hold a bitch? Well, maybe. I like to butt fuck fine ladies. Will I choke hold a bitch? Well, maybe. I like to butt fuck fine ladies. Will I choke hold a bitch? Well, maybe. Fucking remix.
What is this music you're always listening to? Come on, let us in.
Yeah. Okay, I like this.
Okay.
Put it on, huh?
Here we go.
I like to butt fuck fine ladies. Will I choke hold a bitch? Well, maybe. I like to butt fuck fine ladies. Will I choke hold a bitch? Well, maybe. I like to.
The thing that resonates with my soul the most is when someone says, "You changed my life. You changed my perspective." This kid I talked to, his first name is Chase. He's 13 years old. And his father, 2 months ago, committed suicide. And Chase said, "I had my first football game." He said, "My daddy would have been proud of me." And I said, "I can never replace a father, but I can always be a daddy. And I am proud of you." And he said, "You're really proud of me?" And I said, "Yes." In that moment, I knew that I was fulfilling my purpose on earth. Life is hard, and for a man in particular, life is very difficult. The thing that resonates.
Men who have been through a lot of pain are very kind. When I see a man who's been through a lot of shit, it makes you kinder. You don't want it to be put on anyone else. The biggest gangsters and killers and evil people sometimes can be the kindest. The worst men on earth are the ones who haven't had enough pain. Those are the arrogant pieces of shit people. You're supposed to suffer as a man. And the best men are the ones who suffered the most.
This is going to make me cry. He comes up and he starts crying. And I said, "You seem emotional." And he said, "Yeah, I am. Thank you." And I said, "Well, where are you going to spend this money?" He goes, "Next week is my daughter's 13th birthday." I think Georgia was 13 at the time. And I said, "Oh, congratulations." He goes, "I didn't have money to throw her a party. Now I get to be the dad she thinks I am." You're so fortunate in life. Sometimes you forget your path. And then you see someone on your path at an earlier stage of your path, and they remind you of your path. And you're like, "Mother, so many times I didn't get to be the dad that they thought I was. So many times." This is going to make me cry. He comes.
Life is just a collection of moments, and most of them you don't even realize are important until they're gone. You won't get them back. The conversations, the laughs, the people. Sometimes they change. Sometimes they leave. And sometimes you're the one who walks away. And suddenly, something that felt so normal becomes something you'd do anything to feel one more time. Some memories feel warm. Some hurt. Some remind you of people who once felt like home, but now feel like strangers. And yes, maybe it didn't last. But that doesn't mean it didn't matter. It meant something. It shaped you. So say the things you wanted to say. Be where your feet are. Appreciate people while they're still here. You don't get to relive it. And one day, today will be a memory too.
Do you know the idea of the Michelangelo effect? Have you heard of this? Awesome. The Michelangelo effect describes a situation in a relationship, friendship, or intimate partnership where each partner sees the best in the other and tries to help bring that out. So the sum of the parts is greater than it is individually. I think in life you want to be finding people that believe in you more than you believe in you, that hold you to higher standards.
I think that's the definition of a good friend. I think that's the definition of a good partner, a good definition of a good husband, wife. You know, that they remind us of the best of ourselves.
Do you know the idea of the Michelangelo effect? Have you heard of this? Awesome. The Michelangelo effect.
Windmill, windmill for the
A winner is a loser who tried one more time. So shift your perspective whenever you have nothing going for you to I have nothing to lose. Because whenever you have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain.
love forever, love is free, let's turn forever, you and me. Windmill.
People need to suffer. It is an actual requirement of life, and is the fiber, the DNA of love. Real love and true love and in perpetuity can't exist without suffering. And suffering doesn't have to be looked at as a negative thing. It can be looked as a beautiful thing. It's where real love comes out of.
Yeah.
You know, all my suffering, there was real love in there. Everyone around me just in this recovery or in a loss I may have had from an uncle or a grandparent or whatever, you know, there's real love that comes in that suffering, you know, even though it can be a lonely experience. I mean, I look at it that way and not as a negative, terrible thing because it's just temporary. People need to suffer.
I realize you go higher, you go even more alone. Why? Because nobody is willing anymore to invest their energy in going higher because it's becoming more difficult.
There's gonna be more times you do something that you don't want to do than you are gonna want to do it. And that's your new norm. That's your new norm. So then it's like breathing. And then once you do this over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing.
You should be fucking scared. You should be anxious. You should be worried. You should be concerned. You know what that means? That means you actually give a fuck about what you're trying to do.
I realize you go higher, you go.
Remember that howsoever you are played or by whom, your soul is in your keeping alone. Even though those who presume to play you be kings or men of power, when you stand before God, you cannot say, "But I was told by others to do thus," or that virtue was not convenient at the time. This will not suffice. Remember that. Remember that howsoever you are played or by whom, your soul is in your keeping alone. Even though those who presume to play you be kings or men of power, when you stand before God, you cannot say, "But I was told by others to do thus," or that virtue was not convenient at the time. This will not suffice.
They called him a king once, not because he wore gold, but because he walked like thunder. Then life hit, and he shrank, quieted himself to fit, forgot what he was. Years passed. The crown collected dust. But power doesn't die. It waits. And one morning he looked in the mirror and didn't see a victim. He saw the war he left unfinished. So he picked up the crown, tightened the armor, and walked back into the fire. Not to be seen, to be remembered. They called him a king once.
I like Instagram because you'll tell on your friends for being horny. Instagram will be like, "Look at this fat ass." 35,000 people liked it. And Jeff. And you're like, Jeffrey! I like Instagram because you'll tell on your friends for being horny. Instagram will be like,
Colombia just found the first piece of alien technology in history, and there's videos to prove it. You gotta see this story. This thing is being called the Buga Sphere. It was found in Colombia last month, and scientists have no idea how it was made. A glowing metallic sphere was caught on camera flying through the sky, descending silently, and then something insane happened. It didn't vanish. It didn't explode. It landed, and someone actually put their hands on it and picked it up. This isn't science fiction. This is real, and it might be the most convincing physical evidence of extraterrestrial technology we've ever had, if you can believe it. Video started circulating of a floating metal orb, glowing with shifting lights, hovering low over the ground, no sound, no wings, no visible propulsion, and then it descended. I was gonna call it AI generated, but the way the orb moves and the length of the videos, technology just isn't there yet, so it has to be something else. One guy got so close, he actually touched it. He says it was freezing cold, dense, and unlike anything he'd ever seen. At first, it weighed about 4.5 pounds, but when taken to a lab, it registered 22 pounds. That alone raised eyebrows. It literally didn't change in size, but yet become 5 times heavier out of nowhere. But what scientists found next, that changed everything. The Buga Sphere was analyzed by a private tech company specializing in electromagnetic detection equipment. What they discovered was impossible. The sphere had no visible seams, no welds, no way of opening it, nothing. but it featured a strange black belt, markings resembling unknown symbols, looking like a strange language that doesn't exist. In the middle, it had what might be a quantum chip embedded into its structure, and its surface, when exposed to fire, it doesn't heat up. They put a blowtorch on it and nothing. It didn't burn or get hot. When splashed with water, it evaporates the liquid instantly, but it stays completely cool. It just doesn't seem to make sense. How can you pour water on it and then it evaporates, but then you could just touch it and it's not hot? X-rays revealed internal mechanisms, real components, not random junk. This thing wasn't hollow. It was engineered, designed, built for some kind of purpose. And here's the thing, just before it was handed over to Mexican journalist Jaime Maussan for further study, the team in Colombia received bizarre messages, some polite, some threatening, and one reportedly from Russia offering a deal for the sphere. Then again, I heard Putin isn't easy to make deals with. That's when the decision was made to get it out of Colombia. With official clearance from local authorities, Maussan brought the sphere to Mexico, where it's now under secure analysis. Could it be alien tech, or just a surveillance probe, a UFO from another dimension? Or maybe I just been watching too much Joe Rogan. I don't know. You let me know in the comments.
What's so creepy is that North Pole, there's more to it. So there's a satellite image from the ESA 7 satellite. This was in 1968. It was like the first visual of Earth via satellite.
What the heck?
Okay, well then this was from Google Earth.
It's the hole to the center of the Earth.
And then this was released by NASA, I believe, 80s or 90s. You're not allowed to fly over the North Pole. But Admiral Byrd did, because apparently he had, we've talked about it before, I believe, but his secret diary. And then when he died, his son got it. And then when his son was trying to publish the stuff in it, he died. But Admiral Byrd talks about in the secret diary, when he went to explore the North Pole, there was an entry to inner Earth, like hollow Earth. And he describes it as being in the Earth, lush green land beyond the ice, mammoth-like creatures, a technology advanced civilization, and meeting with a being called the Master. So apparently this Master gave Admiral Byrd this message. We have never interfered before in your racist wars of barbarity, but now we must, for you have learned to tamper with a certain power that is not for man, namely the atomic energy. You see, our culture and science is many thousands of years beyond your race.
Wow.
You, my son, must return to the surface of the world with this message. What's so creepy is that North Pole. So recently, Trump was speaking at the World Economic Forum, but behind him was the United States coat of arms. Typically, the eagle is holding the olive branches and the arrows.
Yeah.
The eagle's head is always facing the olive branches as a sign of peace.
Since 1945, Harry Truman did an executive order saying we will look for peace before, but we are ready to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
And so it was just the thing, an executive order since then.
And the coat of arms behind Trump, while he's talking to the World Economic Forum, the eagle was facing the arrows. And that has not changed since 1945.
It's scary, man.
It's
That's
weird.
crazy.
It's weird.
It's so significant. That's
straight out of Taylor Swift's playbook. Think about like how obsessed people get with
we're
like
gonna
figuring
pull
out
it,
the
Taylor.
details.
They are the biggest conspiracy theorists because
Sure.
they will literally dig and pull everything apart. I'm like, girls, if you just could focus your energy on the deep state, we'd have all this figured out.
That's so true.
Everything would be figured out as if they could just get interested. We just need to.
So recently, Trump was speaking at the Underground Cities. Former Bush administration official Catherine Fitz, she was just on Tucker Carlson's podcast, and she did this really deep dive. Basically, they uncovered of what they know of. There are 170 underground cities under the entirety of the U.S. and in the ocean that the U.S. has been building since 1988. With a total of what they found, they've spent over $21 trillion on underground systems and cities. They said that they use an energy source or energy technologies that the public has never been allowed to see. And it's all for the purpose of a potential extinction level event. You know, like for years now, people are like, what's that sound of like it sounds like trumpets in the air and stuff. They're actively drilling under the entire US. And that's what I think it sounds like. It's just literally the earth just shifting underneath their feet. That's creating this noise of these trumpet-like sounds.
Why wouldn't they do it? They have the money, they have the resources, they have the land.
But then here's the question: who survived life.
Yeah.
Who's on these
And
lists?
that's the thing. When this stuff gets out, if this thing were to be leaked, which it already has, people realize that. I mean, what are we going to do? We're not going to be on that list. People are going to lose their minds.
Pressure though of having to make a decision for your family. They're like, let's just say it was like you can come if you want, and it's like you have to make a decision. We're telling you it's gonna happen in like 30 days. Are you gonna come with us or not? And you actually have to make that call.
Underground cities. Former Bush administration official Catherine Fitz. Speaking of remote islands, there's this remote island. I forget what the island's called. but it's-
Sentinel Island?
I think so. And it's like one of the last preserved islands where the tribesmen have no contact with the outside world.
Wow.
So if you go there, they're going to kill you.
Right.
But it's illegal to go onto this island. This American tourist got a boat, made it to the island, and left a coconut and a can of Coke as an offering.
A Diet Coke, which is even more insulting.
Yeah.
And then left. And then now he's arrested.
Yeah, fair.
Now, he's
Do they-
24 years
I bet
old.
they're still trying to figure out how to open it.
Yeah.
They stab it with a spirit explodes. They're like, it's a bomb!
Now, the reason why the guy got arrested is it just simply germ stuff, right? Like,
Yeah,
like,
it's illegal to go there.
And also consider you're messing with these people's psyches. You know, you
Yeah.
drop off something like a can of Coke and they're like, what's going on? Consider what you would do if an alien dropped their sludge.
just the implications of who gets it. What if it does kill somebody? You're just dropping off as a joke, trying to help them, but like you literally could be throwing off a whole culture at that point.
None of these people
That could
live
be
in
the
peace.
time-
They're going to start worshiping Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
The gods have arrived.
Speaking of remote islands, there's this remote island. I forget what.
One of the saddest things in the world is an old man that's 24 years old.
Ooh.
That's sad.
Oh. Break that down. Describe that old man who's 24.
He's been weighted with responsibilities and fears and work and drudgery, and all the joy of life was taken away from him. All of the freedom of life was taken away from him. And I'm 58. I'm not old, but I'm not young. And I carry burdens easily because I've grown into them.
Yes.
I carry my age easily because I've grown into it.
Yeah.
But a 24-year-old should not be carrying an old man's burden.
Yes.
One of the saddest things in the world is an old man.
Snoop Dogg is the coolest. He just drops little pearls of wisdom. You know, Snoop, Saturday after the show, we got a party. And Snoop, like he should, he goes, the shizzle. Hey, maybe we'll get a hoe. and Snoop just on a dime goes, why get only one hoe? Why not two or three? Don't put limits on your life. Dream big, you may never wake up. Snoop Dogg is the coolest. He just drops.
Attention, any Walmart shoppers still in the store. The store is now closed. Attention, any remaining customers.
But it's happening. Will permanently close next month.
In total, the company announced that 269 store locations will be closed worldwide starting next month. Though most of the store locations are in the United States, a bulk of the store closures will occur in Brazil as well. Included in the restructuring, 102 Walmart Express stores will be closed in the United States, with 154 stores in the U.S. closing altogether.
Attention, any Walmart shoppers still in the store.
Давай, готов? Короче, стучи. Илюр, давай, готов?
Nice throw. Nice throw.
In the spot, I came with the fellas. Ray Mac got hit in the back, it's melon. And if I throw a bullet, I bet she can't.
Hey, look, cuz. This is my little crackhead bitch Tanya right here. Look. Damn, dude, you can't even tell she smoked crack. Nigga on hood.
Keep that ass up and head down. I don't care about that.
Well, goddamn, freak doggy dog. Damn, nigga. Ain't nobody told your ass to scroll left, cuz. Stepping on her head with a Timberland on is nuts. Cause I'm a freak, nigga. I'm the set. Hey, look, cuz.
So did you see the lady that actually proved the Mandela effect as a government experiment?
So she was able to prove this?
Yeah. So one of the most popular Mandela effects is the Fruit of the Loom Mandela effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody remembers there being a cornucopia on the logo of Fruit of the Loom clothing, but apparently there's not.
Yeah.
And this lady was super convinced that there used to be a cornucopia on the logo, but Fruit of the Loom came out and said that they've never had a cornucopia, like basically just calling this lady crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Fruit of the Loom even has a post of all the past logos they had, all the way back to like 1893, and basically they're trying to prove that they've never had a cornucopia on their logo. But then someone came out and they actually have photo proof of this, that they found a piece of clothing in their closet with a cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom logo. And then after this, people did more digging, and they actually found newspaper articles talking about Fruit of the Loom and how there's a cornucopia around it.
So this is like the first Mandela effect to really be confirmed?
Yeah, then they literally found government documents of the Fruit of the Loom company mentioning a cornucopia, showing that the cornucopia has been a part of the company. So they can't say it's never existed, right? And since this lady has been able to prove this Mandela effect wrong, people now think that the government has been using the Mandela effect to try to see how much history. So did you see the lady that actually proved the Mandela effect as a government experiment?
Did you see how the moon is rusting?
I've heard about it.
Yep. So there's this kid that took like the most high quality picture of the moon ever taken, and it was like over like 2,000 images that he combined, and you can clearly see that the moon is rusting. And then I saw this on NASA on their website, and the article said, while the moon is airless, research indicates the presence of hematite, a form of rust that normally requires oxygen and water. This has scientists puzzled. Do you know what the word hematite? Hematite is a name that is derived from the Greek word meaning blood. It says, the sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the great and awesome day of the Lord comes. And it shall come to pass that everyone who calls in the name of the Lord shall be saved. The term hematite, it's a type of rusting that only occurs with this certain mineral, water and oxygen, but the moon is literally doing that right now, and scientists do not know why. Throughout scripture of just like moon turning to blood, and like, what does that mean? Because they have like the blood moon, right?
Yeah,
People are like,
yeah.
oh, that's going to happen on this day. So like the Bible ultimately translated into Greek at one point, right? And the Greek word for blood is hematite, the same word that they use for this rust. And so it's like the moon is literally has hematite on it. That's weird. It's all going to end soon, so you better.
End times is coming, my friends.
Did you see how the moon is rusting?
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord.
A single misunderstanding can make us forget countless moments of love. One misread tone or wrong assumption can shake even the strongest bonds. In those moments, it's easy to react with frustration, to let pride take over instead of seeking clarity. But real love isn't measured by the absence of misunderstandings. It's proven in the way we overcome them. Love thrives when we choose patience over anger and understanding over assumption. True connection isn't about never disagreeing. It's about having the strength to listen, to give each other space to explain, and to work through confusion together. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's a sign that the relationship matters more than the mistake. Love that lasts isn't fragile. It isn't easily broken by one misunderstanding because it is built on trust, communication, and the willingness to rise above moments of doubt. Choosing to work through the difficult moments is what makes love real, turning missteps into opportunities for deeper connection. A single misunderstanding